6 o'clock in the morning, we were all sleeping, and it's just banging on the door, and my son, he opened the door. I think there were about 20 people, between 15 and 20 people just in the house. But you're just overwhelmed, you don't know. You've got people everywhere, curtains coming off, they're upstairs, downstairs. You feel a bit lost. Your house is not your house because it's been completely turned upside down by everybody. But I got quite quickly in contact with HHUGS as well. As soon as they heard from the raid, they got in contact with me. My key worker is still the same person as it was from the beginning, so she was quite quickly in contact with me. You become very paranoid with everything. My window was open every night. Slept with my clothes on, my jilbab and hijab and everything was on my bed. I've slept with my hijab for a long time on in the night, just because you're worried that they're going to come anytime. So any car that I hear in the night after the first raid, it's just, oh, they're there again. And then the second raid happened in February. So by that time, they didn't even give us time to open the door. They just rammed the door open and they were inside. It was more overwhelming as the first raid. Although you've been through the raid, you can never imagine until you have been through it what it does to a person. My little one was sleeping with me, and she was taken into the other room to be with her younger brother. And my oldest one, he was taken. It's just, you're completely numb. And I was just wondering about the kids, where they were. I wasn't allowed to go out, I wasn't allowed to move to them. So it's just, you're in total shock. They took my son away in handcuffs. And one of the things that really hurt me was that the youngest one has seen it, that they took him in handcuffs. Made me a bit upset because you're saying goodbye to your kids and you don't know what's happening in the future. So, and although he was 17 or 18 at the time, it's just your child. It doesn't matter how old the child is, he will be always your child. And that worries what you have about how he is doing and how he's feeling. And then you've got the little ones, you don't know what is being told them. It's just the worries about them. I was formally charged. You're in a place where that door closes, but that's it. You can't go out. Your freedom is taken away. You're depending on people. That was when it really hit me. The worry about the kids, the worry about myself, the not knowing of things. I wasn't ready to speak to my children yet, because I just couldn't handle that moment of speaking to them. I felt that they were not really able to keep on the homeschooling, so for me it was one of the most important things that they were put in school as soon as possible. But then in Birmingham it's really difficult to get a place for the children in the state schools. So mashallah, another Islamic school opened the door straight away for them, and alhamdulillah HHUGS were able to pay for them for the education. So that was, mashallah, alhamdulillah, that was a big relief for me, as long as the children there are looked after well. And as soon as I heard that from the solicitors that they were doing really well, that is a big relief for yourself. They were able to go to the Islamic school and keep off their mind for the first 3 weeks. When we came home, we were put on the tag, me and my son. So we had a curfew from 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. and we were left with really nothing. I think only we had some cash in the house that we were left, that was given back to us to survive for the first day, for the first week. As soon as they heard that we were out of prison, they came and they wanted to help and everything. But because you're under this asset freezing, it was a very strict thing. Every single receipt you have to keep, how you're going to pay car insurance, your bills. Because my bank account didn't work, it's putting a lot of pressure on you, because you want to buy shoes for your son and you need extra money. They need to know why you need the extra money, and it's all the time, everything needed a reason. That was traumatic even for the kids, Because my son, he goes to the corner shop and he buys a bottle of milk and he comes home, he says, Mum, the man, he didn't give me a receipt. It's a 7 or 8 year old boy who comes home and he's worried about having a receipt and everything. He's dealt with it, everything amazingly, to be honest, because his whole future was messed up, especially in the financial sanctions.
I try and help her as much as I can, let alone my little brothers and sisters, but alhamdulillah, you can't do nothing. So how are we supposed to eat? Let alone driving cars or, getting fuel in the cars. You can't even get food for yourself. You can't accept things and you can't do things. So how does that work? Literally, no one can help you, even if they wanted to, and then you got the police at the same time, but then you've got HHUGS.
And through HHUGS, I was able to get my car insurance because we needed it, because we needed to sign on. And they put it on a police station that was almost impossible to pick up my kids from school and to sign on. So alhamdulillah, we had the car insurance through HHUGS. It's 2.5 years. And you still haven't dealt with things. And that's where HHUGS comes in. I just need that support still, because you think you dealt with it, but you haven't. As soon as something small comes up, you're back to square one. So in that financial thing was very important. The emotional support that we had from HHUGS, the sisters all the time calling you, visiting you. The meetings are very important for them. For the Eid as well, mashallah, they gave us, every year they gave us meat, presents for the kids. And for myself is the sisters around me. For the children, especially the Eid parties, that they take that off their heads. We have issues, okay, but we are still families who need the support, because most of these families, they don't have the father around. They are doing quite good in the academic side, but the Islamic side as well. So we carry on, and we picked up from where we were dropped on the floor. We picked up quite well, and I think the family bond became even stronger as it was before. My son was last year second, and the year before he became first in his Quran competition, mashallah. I went to do my math and English, so I got level 2 math and English, and I put my name down for a TA course. HHUGS is very important. I think they're the only ones that have got people in place who know what they're doing and who are able to help, especially with the financial sanctions. The emotional support that we had from HHUGS, the sisters all the time calling you, visiting you.
If it wasn't for specific help, you understand, excluding obviously the solicitors and that, it's the HHUGS that really came in.
They're doing an immense work, and it doesn't matter what day, what time. You just give them a ring and they would be answering your call. And just even a simple conversation or just a meeting for a cup of coffee, that's enough.
Name me just a word of how you would describe HHUGS in it, and I said TLC, which is tender love and care.
They know what they're doing, they know what they're talking about. People, they do not realize how much work goes on behind the scenes. I thought it was just the law. Honestly, it comes from an angle you never expect. And if it can happen to people like me, it can happen to anybody.